So for this video ay tuturo ko naman paano gamitin calculator techniques in solving for the resultants of coplanar concurrent force system. So in the previous videos, meron tayong 4 na example para dun sa coplanar concurrent force system natin. At yung 4 na examples na yun ay solve natin ngayon using the calculator techniques. So before anything else, what we are going to do first is, of course, to set all the forces standard angle. So, as I have said earlier sa mga previous na video natin, the standard angle is measured from the positive x-axis and it has counterclockwise direction. So, for this, we have two forces involved here. So we have the force 1, which is 600 Newton with a direction of 30 degrees from the positive x-axis standard. So we can say that our force 1 is 600 Newton at 30 degrees direction. Now, for this force 2 here, it's 400 Newton. So we have here force 2, that is 400 Newton with a direction of 45 degrees from this horizontal. So since we need the standard angle, now the standard angle for this is equal to 180 minus this 45. So this angle is 180 minus 45. So it's 135 degrees. This is 135 degrees standard angle. So the force 2 is equal to 400 Newton at 135 degrees direction. Now, if we will be using the calculator technique in order for us to solve for the components and the resultant, including the direction, the first thing that we are going to do is to make use of the complex mode. So press mode and complex, that's number 2. So press 2 and then we will just type. So we will just input this in the calculator and we have 600 angle, the angle is here, 30 plus 400 angle 135, and we have here 236.77. This 236.77 is your x component. This is the 236.77 na nasa calculator. And press natin ito to the right. And as you can see here, this is 582.84. That 582.84 is your y component. Okay, so how about in computing for the value of the resultant r? So what we do is to press shift and then the complex is number 2 here, so 2, and from the rectangular representation, we are going to bring that into polar coordinate. So that rectangular representation will become the radius and the direction. No? So that the radius vector is your resultant. So press 3 equals, and we have here 629.1. That 629.1 is this resultant. And for the direction, press lang natin to the right, that is 67.89 degrees. So we have here 67.89 degrees. So using the calculator, napalabas na natin yung Rx, Ry, the resultant, and the theta x. Nang ganun kabilis. Now for problem number 2, what we are going to do first is to set all the forces in terms of standard angle. So okay, so for force 1 is directed to the left. So, translate na lang natin siya dito, standard angle. And our F1 here is equal to 400 Newton. Force 2 is in quadrant 1, that's 45 degrees. And this has the magnitude of 250 Newton. For the force 3 is directed to quadrant 3, and this force 3 here has the magnitude of 200 Newton with a slope of 3/4. Now, we have to translate this in terms of angle later. So, for standard angle, for the force 1, standard angle for this is 45 degrees. So we have our force 1 is equal to 250 Newton at 45 degrees direction. For the force 3, so force 3 is, for the force 3, we have to compute first this theta x here. So for computation of theta x, our theta x is equal to the arctangent of the slope, that's 3/4. So theta x is equal to, we have arctangent of 3/4. And this is equal to 36.87 degrees. So we have here 36.87 degrees. And computing for this standard angle here, this standard angle, what we have for that theta 3 is 180 minus the theta x. And for the computation, we have 180 minus 36.87. And we have here 180 minus our answer. So that's 143.13. So 143.13 degrees. So meaning this is 143.13. So meaning this is 143.13 degrees. So our F2 is equal to 200 Newton at 143.13 degrees. Now for force 3 is just horizontal. So we have here 180 degrees. So force 3 has the magnitude of 400 Newton at 180 degrees. Now, itong mga to ang gagamitin natin sa computation. So, we have to take the calculator in complex mode. So, that's mode 2. And then, just add 250 angle 45 plus 200 angle 143.13 plus 400 angle 180 degrees. And we have here negative 383.22. That negative 383.22 is your x component, yung na-solve natin sa previous video natin. And for the y component, we have 296.78. So we have here 296.78. And for the resultant, we have to press shift and then complex. And titik natin into polar coordinate 3. And we have the resultant for 84.7. So resultant is 484.7. Ito yung sagot natin. And For the direction, we have here 142.24. So that 142.24 degrees ay standard, no? So, yung theta natin is 142.24 degrees. Standard ito. So, meaning, that is more than 90 but less than 180. Somewhere here. Ito yon yung angle na to na nakuha natin. But, ang kailangan natin dito is this theta x. So, theta x is equal to 180 minus theta. So, we have here 180 minus yung theta natin, 142.24 degrees. So, we have here theta x is equal to 180 minus 142.24. And we have 37.76. So we have here 37.76 degrees. And as you can see here, we have the same answer dun sa solution natin. For problem number 3, the first thing that we are going to do is, of course, to bring everything into standard angle. So for force 1, we have force 1, 37 degrees. So standard na siya. We have force 1 is equal to 30 pounds at 37 degrees. Then for the force 2, that is 45 degrees here from the horizontal. So that would be theta 2. So your theta 2 is just equal to 180 minus 45. So we have 135 degrees. So this theta 2 here is equal to 135 degrees. So force 2 is equal to 50 pounds at 135 degrees. Then for the force 3, we have here 180 plus 60 degrees. So our theta 3 is 180 plus 60 degrees. So we have 240 degrees. So this is 240 degrees standard. So force 3 is equal to 80 pounds at 240 degrees. Now, using the calculator, so naka-complex mode na, pero pakita ko ulit. So, bring natin sa complex mode. And then, ang kailangan nating information ay ito at i-input natin sa calculator. 30 angle 37 degrees plus 50 angle 135 degrees plus 80 pounds with the direction of 240 degrees. And we have here negative 51.4 pounds. That negative 51.4 is your resultant in x direction, or Rx. And this negative 15.87 here is your resultant in y direction. Now, if we are going to compute for the resultant, we have to press shift 2 and then polar, that's 3, equals. So we have here 53.79. That 53.79 is your resultant. And the direction here is negative 162.84. So, kung isusulat natin to, the resultant is 53.79 pounds at negative 162.84 degrees. So if we are going to compute for the value of the theta, no? So as you can see here, this negative 182.84 here, since negative siya, it is measured from the degree 0 clockwise, no? So this is negative 90, this is negative 180. So meaning itong negative 162 is somewhere here. And this is the direction negative 162.84 degrees. Ang hinahanap natin is this theta x. So in order for us to solve for the theta x, we have theta x is equal to 180 degrees minus 162.84 degrees. Then theta x is equal to 180 minus 162.84. And we have here 17.16 degrees. So we have 17.16 degrees. And that 17.16 degrees, no, na theta is the same dun sa na-compute natin. For problem number 4 ay wala na tayong problema kasi ito ay naka-standard angle na. So, mode 2, we have for vector A, that's 100. Angle is 37 degrees. Plus vector B, that's 100. Angle is 150 degrees. Plus our vector C is 80 kips, so 80 angle 233 degrees. And that negative 54.88 is your x component. That's negative 54.88 kips. And this 46.29 here is your y component. So it is 46.29. Now, if we are going to compute this value of r here, no, which is 71.8 at an angle of 139.85, so shift 2 and then 3. So we have 71.8 at an angle of 139.85, and ganun siya kabilis.